Alright, I'm gonna be rolling weed while telling these stories, so if you hear noises, that's what the fuck it is. This first one, people aren't gonna be the happiest about, but that's something that happened, and if you don't like it, well, it didn't happen to you, right? So, me and the other guy that I was booking with, we go to the bar, Mikey's there, he's in the back room, we go right there, there's a bar, there's a bottle of beer open hanging out, I thought it was his. Um, we find out that there's no karaoke there that night. I don't give a flying fuck because I don't do karaoke. If I do it, it's to appease other people. It's not my shit at all. So, but the bastard wanted to go, so we found out where it was. So I pick up this beer, slam it. He's like, "Oh, it's been sitting out for days." I'm like, "Shit, don't matter to me now. It's already in my system." So we go. It puts like, what, mile down the road, some shit like that. Not that far, right? So we make it down there, and it is a benefit for a kid that just died. You know, they're doing karaoke, they're doing this to raise money for the family, this, that, the other thing, for some cause. And honestly, we shouldn't have went in, we shouldn't have stayed. But we did what we did. I get in there, I start ordering the biggest mugs of beer that I got, and you know, time goes on. I may have sung one up there. The guys were sung like 2 or 3. I don't want to be there anyway. And this is like my 3rd mug of beer, and I know I can't finish it. Now, he calls me a pussy or whatever, and I cave in like a little bitch. Because I caved in, what happened next happened. Basically, as soon as it hit my stomach, I had to get up. Now, there's a straight line from the table to the bathroom. The waitresses were wearing bikinis because apparently they need that to make more money. And then you can't really do a, shot from the tits from a shirt. So, that's what they were trying to sell. Nobody gave a shit because it seemed like you'd catch an STD from doing it. At least in my opinion. So, that's what's going on there. I'm trying to make it to the place. It's crowded as shit. There's nowhere to walk. Now, there's a bikini waitress 5 feet from me. Right? I thought I looked down. I looked up. I vomit. I keep going to the bathroom. Walking. I vomit 2 more times. Right? Now, I thought I missed her. I did not. Okay? She's crying when I come out of the bathroom about 10 feet to my left. There's somebody giving her a towel. All that shit. So, because that is what was happening, there were 2 bouncers said I had to go. Now, the smartest thing I did that night was this. I'm like, how do you expect me to leave here safely? I just vomited. It's clear I'm drunk. Can you get my ride? He's over there. So, they go and get him. They're like, you gotta go because he's gotta go. You both gotta get the fuck out. And don't come back. Well, lifetime bans are never lifetime. Let me just tell you that. I have been back there since. I was back there for open mics even. Shit, so you get what I'm saying. It may have been years later. But sometimes it's better just to say, fuck no, this ain't my shit and I'm not doing it. And I wasn't drinking doing karaoke, but that didn't help things. Hearing a bunch of people sing really badly to shit. And this might sound bad, but I'm not going to feel bad for the kid that I don't know, because I don't know what the fuck happened to him. Right? Like, I'm just out trying to live my life, and sure, I would give some money to it or whatever. I may have even that night. I forget. I was wasted. But, you can already tell I'm primed up. Sometimes it'd be nice to have somebody just be like, hey, stop for a minute. We ain't doing that right now because why you drink so heavy like this right now? You know, and sometimes I have had to have those conversations with people, either towards me or towards others, right? We back in the day, we all needed that conversation because we were all off the rails. But when you're off the rails, you don't really say, "Hey, you're off the rails. You need to oh shit, you need to pull back." All right, is that all that fell? Yeah, because this is my expensive shit. The shit that I normally would never buy, but longest lasting strong shit I got. Alright. Let's see. So there's this series of documentaries, real documentaries about the White's family. Jesco and all that. And, you know, people like Hank 3 will say that they're the freest people ever, but that's some bullshit because there's a million Jescos everywhere. We had a family of Whites out here. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't their name. I'm not going to say their name because I'm not fucking stupid. But, yeah. As wild as Jesco is, you got something like that in your neighborhood. In your state at the very least. Somebody that plays by their own rules, and those rules are always, I'm going to be stronger than you, tougher than you, and you better never fuck with me. Whatever I do is okay. And that is this family, especially one in particular, but all of them are this way. Just some to a larger extent, more threatening extent than others. I mean, the nicest, even though I never had a bad interaction with them, because I made sure to avoid them, because crazy is crazy and it's going to do what it does. You know what I'm saying? You cannot predict. That's the reason that what I just said makes no damn sense. Do what it does. Makes no goddamn sense, right? But you cannot predict. Maybe it was going to be a fight. Maybe it was going to be something else. But it was the boogeyman. Anybody in the know? Shit. I ran an open mic there at the bar one time, right? Only once. And I'm in the parking lot. And I hear this guy on the phone, and he mentions a certain last name, and I'm like, I gotta go. And a few other people were like, before anything, they left. Before I could say that, they were on the way to the cars. It was all locals doing that. It wasn't any of the people that I brought there, that I encouraged to come. It was none of them. It was all the locals with history. So, yeah, on pills, everything else, with the racial leaning that Jesco has and everything else, you can almost go to any major city in the U.S. and run across the same thing. And a lot of the different little cutouts and stuff, rural areas throughout America too. There's a million people like them. Just like with gangsters. They make them everywhere. Okay? Everywhere. Shit, even Cocksucker's brother, man. That little bastard that I keep talking about. Him. Shit. Pillhead extraordinaire, heroin addict, everything else. Because he saw his dad have a stroke, right? And I get it. It is a lot to take on and all that. But you get somebody just that violent, crazy, and dangerous anywhere from a lot of different things. Period. So, people like that pretend, oh, this is the hardest guy ever, this is the craziest guy ever. Even if you have a documentary about you, there's a lot of people that people aren't willing to talk about. People are willing to talk about the Whites. Openly. On camera. Even law enforcement. Out here, nah. You ain't getting that shit, man. The people on the street know the names, and they stay the fuck out of the news. The worst people never make the fucking paper. And that just is what it is. And I'm not saying Jesco's the worst or best or whatever. I'm just saying, there's people that I love and respect that are as crazy as that motherfucker. And the family that I was talking about ain't like that. I respect one of them a lot. happens to be a woman that was a bartender, you know, awesome lady. But the rest, hell no. Never have, never will, never going to. No one can make me. Alright? But just don't think that because you are somewhere that you got the craziest. This guy got a guy so mad that he stabbed him in the hand. The guy was dumb enough to come back. Luckily, they weren't there. He was drinking in the parking lot, something that I bought from the store, because he wasn't going to dare go inside. He was going to try to act all brave once. Guess what? I never saw his ass there again. No one ever talked about his ass ever again. I don't know if he's alive. Alright? So that kind of craziness. That pushed the buttons that far. With drugs involved, too. Yeah, there's nothing you can do. Besides separate. Sometimes. And yeah, people will say, well, you know, this guy's the craziest, this guy's the hardest. Nah. There's no one like that. Just there's a lot of crazy people hurting. And that's really it.